Oh, shoot. Welcome, friends. I'm so happy you're here today. We are going to make some delicious cookies. And this is a big batch that we're making today. And if you want to scale it down, you can, but I'm going to tell you a little secret. And actually, I got this idea from Renee and Jessica. And what they said, I always thought when you make cookies, you have to bake them all at one time. And then they're stale in a few days. Well, who wants stale cookies? Nobody, right? But their suggestion was making up the cookie balls, freezing them, and then you can have fresh baked cookies anytime you want. Why not make your own cookies? And then instead of buying the break and bakes from the store, you have homemade cookies anytime you want. So let's get started making cowboy cookies today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1.5 cups of butter in my mixing bowl. And this dough is a lot, so it's better if you can do it by hand if you want to, but it is better if you do it with a mixer because your arm is going to get tired of stirring if you don't. I'm going to put 1.5 sticks of room temperature butter in this bowl. And then we're going to just mix that for just a minute, just to get it all whipped up a little bit. And then once you see that your butter is kind of whipped up pretty good, then we're going to start adding the sugar to the butter, and it's 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. Start adding in my granulated sugar, 1.5 cups. And then to that now, I'm going to speed that up a little bit. Now I'm going to start adding the eggs, and it's a total of 3 eggs, but I'm going to drop 1 egg at a time in there. There we go. We have our 3 eggs in. And then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of brown sugar. And you can use either dark brown, which would give your cookies a richer taste, molassesy taste, or the light brown. And I had light brown, so that's what I'm using today, is 1.5 cups of light brown sugar. So I'm just adding that in. These cookies are so good. You guys are gonna love them. And if there's any ingredients that I'm putting in them that you don't like, just leave it out. You don't have to put it in if you don't like it. Like I'm putting coconut in these, and some people don't like coconut or pecans, you know, but I love it, and it is so good. That's what the cowboy cookie is. You got to have all the things in there. Oops, it's coming out of the bowl. Better slow that down. Okay, I'm going to just stop this and scrape down the sides, just to make sure that all the goodness is getting mixed in. Alrighty. We'll turn this back on. And now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to put a dab more, just because. Okay, so we have our vanilla extract in, and then we're going to put 1 teaspoon of salt. Oh, that's probably not wise to measure your salt over your bowl. Oh no, you don't ever want to do that. What if you had an accident? Okay, so 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to put in 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I know that sounds like a lot, but that's how much we're using in this, is 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Okay, and then we're also going to do the same with baking soda. We're going to do a tablespoon of baking soda. And see, it's coming out more than I want. I guess I could rip this thing open. Hang on a minute. Okay, that's a little short, but okay, so 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Okay, and I actually need a dab more because my thingy wasn't full. We need 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. So we're going to put 1, and you guys know I love cinnamon. That is heaping, and yes, I'm doing it. Woo! A cinnamon cloud. It smells wonderful. You know what that smells like? Those red hot cinnamon candies we used to get when we were kids. And remember those fire sticks, Jolly Rancher? The fire ones, cinnamon. That's what that smells like. It smells so good. Now we're going to add our flour. And before I do that though, I'm going to just scrape down the sides just to get everything that has accumulated around the sides off and down in the bowl. Now we're going to start adding our flour, and it's 3 cups of flour. And I'm just going to add a little bit of flour at little bit of flour at a time, and I'm just using all-purpose flour. With the holidays coming up, this would be something great to make and just have the balls, you know, frozen in your freezer and ready to bake off. You have an event to go to and you need to bring some cookies. This would be wonderful. Or you have company coming over. Go grab these out of your freezer and put them in the oven. They're going to smell wonderful baking in your house, that cinnamon, when they walk in, and make them a good cup of coffee. They won't want to leave. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So now we have our dough all mixed up here. Now we're going to start adding in some more ingredients. And it's going to get really thick now. I have a little bit of flour left in here. Let me dump that. Okay, so now I'm going to add some more ingredients. So I have 2 cups of chopped pecans. Okay, so there's 1 cup, there's 2 cups of chopped pecans. If you like walnuts, you could use walnuts instead. I like pecans. Okay, and then I'm going to use coconut, and I need 2 cups of coconut. I love Baker's coconut. I've shared that with you guys before. I'm sorry, but the other brands, like the store brands, I'll buy store brand stuff. I do it all the time. I mean, look at, here we go. We got oats. But some things matter, and coconut is one of them. The Baker's coconut, to me, is moister. It's not dry and like hard, crunchy. So I love Baker's coconut. It's a really, really good moist coconut to use. And not all the stores around me actually carry it. Most of them have their own brands or some other brand that I've tried that I don't like. So in my area, it's Ralph's grocery store that I have to go to get the Baker's brand coconut. Okay, so there's 1 cup. And then I'm going to put another cup in here. This coconut smells so good. You guys, these cookies, I'm telling you, are bomb. That's probably too much. Okay, so there's my 2nd cup of coconut. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of mix this so that coconut and those nuts can get combined in there. So now we have to add 3 cups of rolled oats. Not quick oats, rolled oats, okay? So I'm gonna just slowly add these in. This is why your mixer comes in handy, because believe me, right about now, your hand would really be hurting trying to stir this dough. And it's coming up the sides of the bowl. So there's 1, there's 2 cups. Oh, shoot. Guess what? That's real life in the kitchen. Oh, yes. Okay. So let me put it over here. There we go. Okay, and I got 1 more to go. Oh, my word. I love it. Okay. So here's our last cup of oats. I'll try to do it a little bit better this time. There we go. Okay. Now that is some serious dough, you guys. Like, oh my word. That is a ton, and it's thick, but thank God for a mixer, right? And here's the thing, if you're going through the trouble to make these cookies, honey, you may as well make a whole big old batch like this, and that way you don't have to do it that often. And then it's 3 cups of chips, okay? So I'm using 3 different kinds of chips. I'm using the butterscotch chips, 1 cup of that. I'm going to do 1 cup of the Ghirardelli 60% cacao chips. And I'm going to do 1 cup of the Nestle semi-sweet chips, okay? So if you don't like any one of these chips, you can do all semi-sweet if that's what you like. Or you could do all of the 60% cacao, or you could do all butterscotch. But I'm telling you, the combination of these 3 different chips, money. You're going to love it. Trust me. Gotta have a few extra. So there's 1 cup of semi-sweet. And then I'm going to do 1 cup of butterscotch. And then after I do this, if I think it looks like it needs a little bit more, of course, I'm going to add more. You know that. So there's 1 cup of butterscotch. And then we'll do 1 cup of the 60% cacao. Okay. These are nice dark chocolate chips here. Okay. So there we go. I'm just going to mix this up. And man, at this point, you need a strong arm to mix this in because it's really thick. Whoa. Oh my word. This is quite a project, I'll tell you, but so worth it. Okay, so now I'm going to scoop out my cookies onto my cookie sheet, and I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. Now we are going to put these in a 350 degree preheated oven for 17 to 20 minutes. I just put 9 cookies in the oven, so we'll have 9 fresh baked cookies, okay? But look at this. I have all this dough left over. Here's the beauty of this. I'm going to go ahead and make these into the cookie balls and freeze them right now. And then I'm just going to keep the bag flat and it's going to be great. So whenever you want some, you're good to go. They're already made up. I'm just going to take the scooper and put it in my bag. And I'm just going to make these just side by side. This looks good. And you can pull out, you know, 1 cookie at a time, or 2 or 3, or however many you want to bake off, you can. Or, you know, if it's a Friday night and you just need a a nice little ice cream sundae. Oh, bake one of these cowboy cookies and put a big scoop of vanilla ice cream on top with some chocolate syrup and whipped cream and even drizzle of caramel. Oh my word. Delicious. The combination of the different chips together in this cookie really elevate the flavor. I'm telling you, it is so good. I don't know what it is, because actually the recipe just called for 3 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I just thought, you know what? What would make that better? And I thought, oh my goodness, combining the different chocolate chips would just be great. And it is. It's so good. And so now, every time I make them this way with the 3 different kinds. Our cookies are all bagged up and ready for the freezer. So this recipe actually gave me 36 big cookie balls, okay? So obviously if you wanted to make your cookies smaller, you're going to get more than 36. But total between the 9 I have in the oven and these that I bagged up to go in the freezer, I have a total of 36 cookies. You're going to see once they come out of the oven, but they make a good sized cookie that fit perfectly in the bottom of a bowl to make you an ice cream sundae with, and it's another level. Or again, they're so wonderful, you could just bake them and just eat them with a good glass of icy milk. I love ice in my milk, or a good cup of coffee. So, so good. So there we have it. So now I'm just going to get the air out of these little Ziploc bags, and I'm going to put them in the freezer, and I'm just going to keep them flat like this. So I'm just going to put them on the shelf in the freezer flat, and that way they'll just stay individual like this. And then as I want to bake them, I'm just going to pull them out and just pull off what I want to bake and then bake it. Okay, here's our beautiful cowboy cookies. I just took them out of the oven. Do those not look amazing? I can't wait for them to cool off just a little bit, and then I'm going to enjoy them. So you guys try this. I know you're going to love it. With the cinnamon in it, I think it kind of gives a little bit of a fall type, taste, if you will. Make it and you will love it. I love you guys. Go have a blessed day and find somebody today to do something wonderful for. You'll never know what the smallest things will do for people. So whether it's just a quick text saying I'm thinking about you, or sending a card, or a little phone call just to say how are you. I'm not calling for anything, I'm just calling to see how you are. So let's take care of each other. We need each other. We're better together. I love you guys so much. Go have a blessed day.